More learning ladder fun. To Science City. Again.
We're off.
See how many things we can do.
Choose one. Ooh, welcome to the spectacular Science City.
It's good that is the only time we have to look at Woody. It's a nice feeling, looking at that thing. Evil creature. The spawn of hell. That's what, if you think of devils and things. If there was a hell or is a hell, you think of devils and things are populating it. Woody is a good example of what you would find there. Things like that. Imagine being stuck with them 24 hours a day, talking to you. Musical sounds. All musical instruments produce sound by making air vibrate. There are 3 different ways of making this happen. String instruments have strings that vibrate. Wind instruments have air inside that vibrate. Percussion instruments vibrate when they are hit. So, all of them make sound by making air vibrate. So, string instruments have strings that vibrate. So, guitar strings, violin strings, you move them and they make the air vibrate. Wind, you blow into them and the air vibrates. Percussion, a drum or whatever that thing is, you hit him and the air will vibrate. Interesting. The word percussion means hitting something. Drums, cymbals are examples of percussion instruments. When you hit them, they vibrate, which makes sound. Most percussion instruments have a hollow space inside that makes the sound louder because the air in the space vibrates too. Pianos are percussion instruments when you play a note on the keyboard. Tiny hammers hit the strings inside the piano to make a sound. The drum skin vibrates when it is hit. The beat of a drum, the drummer strikes the skin of the drum to make a sound. Guitar and the violin are both examples of stringed instruments. To play the guitar, you have to pluck or strum its strings. To play a violin, you vibrate the strings by stroking them with a bow. To produce different sounding notes, you have to play different strings. Thin, short, tightly stretched strings produce high notes. Thick, long, or loosely stretched strings produce low notes. Classical guitar. The wooden body of this guitar helps to make the sound of the vibrating strings louder. Next, air, wind instrument. Wind instrument can either be brass, woodwind. A brass instrument, such as a trumpet, produces sound when the player's lips vibrate. A flute is a woodwind instrument that makes a sound as air is blown across an opening. A clarinet has a vibrating reed that produces the sound. All wind instruments have tubes in which the air vibrates. Players' lips vibrate. Brass and woodwind. The trumpet is a brass instrument. Pan, pipes are woodwind instruments. Longer tubes produce lower pitched notes. Oh, because the air has to travel further. So, wee, 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 wee. I guess that's why they're lower, because the wind has to travel further. What's that little thing down there? Don't you want to look at that? Let's go in this little crack, see what's down there. That looks like the place we were before. Alright, stay away from the little crack for now. How did you end up down here? Shitty hole. I think that's an awkward place. Let's see what this sign is. I want to read it first. Read the sign. Chef salad, tomato soup, melon. Main course, chicken and potatoes, vegetable risotto, fish stew. Dessert, apple pie, ice cream, choice of fresh fruit. Shitty menu. Well, I suppose a simple-ish menu. If he makes the food well, it should be fine, but probably a shithole. Your body needs food for energy, growth and repairs. Without food, it would soon stop working. Before your food can do its job, it must be broken down into tiny pieces, digested, so that your blood can carry it to all the cells in your body. As soon as you take a bite, your food starts its journey through a long chain of pipes and tubes inside you. This is known as your digestive system. Esophagus, liver, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. What's that little lump of shit there? I think that's the gallbladder, possibly. You don't look. They don't tell you what that little lump is, do they? Tell you everything else. They don't tell you what that thing at the back is. Is that part of the intestine? Well, most likely this little lump here. They don't tell you what it is. But I think it's a gallbladder. Yes, look at the Parkview Homes. Quality homes made with best materials, built to last. Every material has unique properties. Steel, for example, is strong, hard, shiny. These are its properties. The properties of steel make it a good material for armor. Glass is transparent, so we use it to make windows. Other properties include elasticity, which is how stretchy something is, and viscosity, which is a measure of how easily a liquid flows. Different properties. A huge variety of different materials exist. All of them have different properties. Bricks, concrete, steel all have great strength. That is why these materials are often used to construct buildings and bridges. Some materials stay strong when they are stretched. Strong shells. Both eggs and houses are protected by strong materials, while others stay strong when they are compressed, squashed. Certain strong materials are brittle, which means they break easily if they are bent or dropped on a hard surface. You could probably build a house with the eggs, since when they're like this shape, they're very strong and you can't break them easily. Like that little test they did. If you had all these eggs flat, or thousands of eggs, or hundreds of eggs, however many eggs, you could stand on them and they wouldn't break. So in theory, you can support them with bricks. And elasticity, although I don't know if the eggs will rot eventually and become weak and your house will fall over. An elastic material is one that returns to its original shape and size after it has been stretched or squeezed. All solid materials are elastic, but some are much more so than others. Metals and plastic change their shapes permanently. If stretched too far, rubber used to make tennis balls and elastic bands is one of the most elastic materials on Earth. Elastic and brittle. Clay is permanently altered if stretched. Rubber bands are very elastic. Density. A cupful of the liquid metal mercury has about 13 times the mass of a cupful of water. Density is a measure of how much mass a material has in a certain volume. This means that mercury has about 13 times the density of water. In the same way, a wooden table would weigh much more than a plastic table of the same size. Because wood has a higher density than plastic, colored water, vegect oil, glycerin, denser water. Syrup is denser than water and glycerin. Okay, so we've got blue stuff at the top, then vegetable oil, colored water, glycerin, denser than water, and syrup is denser than water and glycerin. So we have blue stuff, whatever that is, the blue stuff, which it doesn't want to tell you is the lightest, or the non-densest, the blue stuff, though they don't tell you what the blue stuff is. Heavy liquids, materials that are less dense than water float on its surface. Materials that are less dense than water float on its surface. Those that are more dense sink. So we've got coloured water here. That is more dense than vegetable oil. And then we've got blue stuff. And the blue stuff is less dense than vegetable oil. They don't have normal water though. They've got syrup, they've got glycerin, coloured water, vegetable oil, or I guess it's vegetable oil, and blue stuff. But they don't tell you what the blue stuff is. Well, I'll never know, so move on. But they don't have normal water either. The viscosity of a liquid or a gas is a measure of how easily it flows. Honey has a much higher viscosity than milk. If you pour milk and honey from 2 glasses at the same time, the honey will take much longer to flow out of its glass in a car's engine. The viscosity of the lubricating oil needs to be just right, so the oil can flow to the moving parts. Fast, slow flow. Milk will spread out much faster than honey if both are dropped on the floor, because honey's sticky, or honey has a higher viscosity, as they say. It's thicker. Honey is thicker than milk. But what if you dropped a load of sour, rotten milk on the floor? Then it will probably... But once again, coloured blue shit. Is this just coloured water? It can't be coloured water. Because that would mean the blue coloured water is less dense than vegetable oil. But red coloured water is more dense than vegetable oil. Glycerin, denser than water. Syrup, denser than water and glycerin. What is this blue stuff? And they also don't put normal water in to show you where the water is. But this says water. So coloured water shouldn't make a difference. Anyway, wasted too much time on that. Looks like the market calf is done with. There's nothing else to click on there. Not that I can see anyway. Shitty hall. See what's in there. Can't look at the sign. The school. Doesn't look like we can go in the school. They must have gave up programming. They realised how boring the game was. Let's not bother with the school. Ah, the quiz. We're not done with the quiz yet. Wait, did I do that? I think I did that already. Oh, you want to see all the shit first, then do the quiz. Little photo rack. Colour. Without light, there would be no colour. White light, like that from a lamp, is really a mixture of colours. These colours can be separated out into a pattern called a spectrum. When sunlight is reflected by raindrops, a rainbow is produced that contains all the colours of the spectrum. Spectrum. This glass prism bends each colour in white light by a different amount, making a spectrum. Spectrum. Prism. White light. In comes the white light. It bends around the prism. Rainbow. Spectrum. If two mixing coloured light. If two or more colours of light enter our eyes together, we see a new colour. This is called colour addition. A television screen has thousands of tiny phosphor dots on it. Each one produces only red, green or blue light. These are known as the primary colours of light, because any other colour can be made by mixing just these three in the right amounts. If adding colours, if you shine red, green and blue light together, new colours appear where the beams overlap. Blue light, green light and red light make cyan light, yellow light and magenta light. White light can be made by mixing the three primary colours. White light! Ah, so a TV is just blue, red and yellow. Blue, red and green. Blue, red and green. Mixing pigments. Paints and dyes are two types of pigments. Yellow, cyan and magenta are the primary colours of pigments. By mixing them in the correct amounts, you can make any colour except pure white. You see the colour of a pigment because it reflects or absorbs light. For example, a red pigment only reflects red light and absorbs all other colour. Mixing the three primary pigments together makes black because all of the colours are absorbed. Magenta, yellow and cyan make black. Magenta plus yellow, red. Cyan plus yellow, green. And all of them together, black. Magenta, cyan, blue. Dark blue. Some type of blue. That looks like a shithole place. Let's go to City Hall. What was that? Ah, are you blind? Tired of same old frames? For the best selection of glass in town, visit Super Specs. Go on then, tell me how glasses work.
Light rays bounce off the object and enter your eye through the pupil. This light is then focused by both the cornea, the clear layer at the front of your eye, and your eye's lens. This makes it fall onto the retina at the back of your eye, and a picture is made. But the picture is upside down. This is when your brain helps out. Messages in the form of nerve signals are sent along a special nerve to the brain. Your brain sorts out the messages so that you not only see things, but see them the right way up.
So the whole world is upside down. Your eyes collect more information about the world around you than any other of your other sensory organs. For you to see, your eyes work together with your brain. When you look at something, each of your eyes takes a slightly different picture. It is your brain that puts the two pictures together. This is called binocular vision. So, optic nerve carries message to the brain. Retina detects light. Iris, cornea, lens helps focus light on retina. Yay. Ears. your ears work with your brain so that you can hear. The ears collect sounds and turn them into signals which are passed on to the brain to be identified. An ear is made up of 3 main sections: outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. The outer ear is the part you can see. Yes, the flappy ear. The other parts protect inside your head. So, if you chop off your ear, you're only missing 1 ear. You've still got 3 more. So you've got outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. Okay, so here's our ear flap. Chop it off if you want, you don't need it. Ear canal, ossicles, cochlear near, no, that's it. Cochlear detects sound. Cochlear nerve carries messages to brain. So where's the inner ear and middle ear? You're not telling me, you're just saying ossicles and cochlear. Is the cochlear the inner ear and ossicles the middle ear? There's the canal. Wee, the eardrum. Is the eardrum the middle ear? Maybe the eardrum's the middle ear, or the middle ear's behind the eardrum, and then behind the middle ear is the inner ear, the cochlear. So that brown piece of shit you see there, that's your real ear. This is just an ear flap. It's the ear flap. I need to blow my nose. Yeah, what's in there? Is that the test? Can't even go in there. They won't let you inside it. Can I go in the city hall or not? Or is it just bloody decoration? Fucking bunch of idiots. Can't go in Shitty Hall because they couldn't be bothered making Shitty Hall either. You can tell you were meant to go in it because you can see the bloody door. You can see the door, so they thought, yeah, you go into City Hall. They couldn't be bothered to make it so. Did I read that? Oh, it was a pain in the arse to even get to this poster. I tried to get to it earlier. Desert and mountain plants. Let's find a tissue. Plants range in size from trees that tower over 100 meters, 330 feet high, to tiny floating water plants that are not much bigger than a pinhead. Like all living things, plants gradually change or adapt to suit their surroundings. They live in a huge range of habitats from the seashore to the slopes of high mountains, surviving in salty water. Mangroves are among the few trees that can survive with their roots in salty water. Salty seawater. Desert plants. In deserts, plants often have to survive for many months without rain. Most manage to do this by having deep roots and thick stems that store water. Many also have spines to keep hungry animals away. Some desert plants use a quite different survival technique. They grow or germinate only after rain and die soon after, flowering. Their seeds remain in the ground where they wait for rain to return. They can stay inactive or dormant for many years. Saguaro cactus. Saguaro cactuses are some of the world's largest desert plants. They store water in their huge stems. So, if you're in the desert, start digging up the plants and suck on their roots. In the winter, mountain plants have to cope with cold winds, frost and snow, but in spring and summer they also have to deal with strong sunshine. Many mountain plants are shaped like cushions, which help them to avoid the worst of the wind. In winter, they are often buried by snow, which is warmer than the air outside. Mountain plants often have furry leaves, which help keep off the strong rays of the sun. Elderwace. This plant's flowers are covered in woolly hairs to protect against the mountain climate. So, blankets. If you're ever in the mountains, stuff a load of elderwace down your trousers. And down your top and everywhere. Stuff them down there. Woolly things, they'll keep you warm. Shitty hole, look. You can tell they meant for you to go in it, but they couldn't be bothered programming it. Did I go in that little alcove? What is that thing? Hello? Let me in. What is that? Did I go in there? They don't even let you in here. You tell they meant for this to be something. Stupid bastards. Oh, finally. Their cameras are just so shit you can't even get to it. That looks interesting. What is it? It's a sundial. Thousands of years ago, people used sundials to tell the time. On a sundial, a pointer known as a gnomon sticks up from the middle of the dial and casts a shadow on the dial, which is marked with the hours of the day. Where the top of the shadow falls tells you what time of day it is. Unfortunately, a sundial is no use at night or when it is cloudy. Oh well. Sundial. During the day, the shadow cast by sundial's pointer moves slowly around the dial. Shadow, gnomon. So it's that time. X. It's 10. 10. So, is there any minute? What are these? Is this the minutes? I suppose that is the minute. 10, 10, 10, 10, possibly. Thousands of years ago, the Chinese measured time by burning knotted ropes. The time it took for the flame to burn from one knot to the next was used as a unit of time. Candles marked with notches measured time in a similar way. 100 years ago, candles were used in dark buildings to measure the passing of time. Monks and nuns, for example, probably used candle clocks to time their prayers. Burning time. A candle burns at a steady rate if it is not in a drought or draft, so it can be used to measure time. That's nice. Measure time with a... Aha! Hidden birdhouse. I've already learned about mammals, not in the birdhouse. I remember the rat creature. I've read all this shit already. These people are lazy. That don't count as 2, does it? Ah, we didn't see this. This shite. What's that? Ah, yes we did. Just somewhere else. To the crust. Ah, we haven't read this. Adaptation. Living things slowly adjust to their surroundings and to their way of life. This process is called adaptation. Can affect a living thing's shape and the way it grows as well as its behavior. Adaptations occur very gradually over many generations. Not in a single lifetime, as useful features are passed on from one generation to the next. Shedding wings. Flea ancestors had wings, but wings are not useful for fleas, so they lost them slowly over many generations. Now they live in our head and lay eggs in our ears, in our cochlea, or whatever the hell it was called. What's the name of that ear again? Find it. Find the glasses. The glasses tell us about ears.
When you look...
Screw you. It lays our eggs in our cochlea. Newton Street. You go in there. Another place we can't go in. We've read the poster. Oh, we can go in this shithole. Look, sweets. Sweets. Oh, fine. Didn't really want to read about them. Fuck them. Oh, never mind. Just saying bullshit. Food and eating. You look at a menu to find that out. Hey here, dickhead. We learned about natural resources too. The earth is shithole. Bastards. Don't have to. These don't count as multiple ones, do they? Science shitty.
Hello again.
I bet they do.
Let's pay a visit
Halfway
to my
there.
favourite place.
Be quiet. Halfway there. 21 of 42. So we've done all of this. All done. Water pollution. I still haven't found water pollution. I found adaptation, earth, string shit. Yeah, I did all that. Where's the bloody water pollution? I found the air resistance. Where's the fucking water pollution, Woody? Should be in this room. Or in that hallway. Where are you, water pollution? It's not this thing, is it? Lying bastards. Where's water pollution? It's here somewhere. Damn water pollution. That's the percussion shit. The game is shit, Woody. Sure it's this piece of shit. Something to do with water. Can't click on it. Is that it? That looks watery. It's not the light. Ah, I've looked everywhere. It's no fucking water pollution here. It's probably this thing, but it's just glitched. Idiots couldn't program it properly. Halfway there. Sundials clock's done. So we've done all this. Cross all that off. Pollution. I read about pollution already. There was another pollution over here somewhere. Over there maybe. No. Eyes. Recycling. Did I read that? I don't know. Food, eating, natural resources. So we're done with this area. Shitty area. Science shitty. Haven't done this part. Oil, water. I don't think I clicked on that one. Anyway, this is where we want to get to, this section here. But for now, bollocks.
You're not leaving me up.